Good morning and welcome to Scrambling Dads. New episodes of every Wednesday on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and Amazon. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss one. All right, welcome back. You got Jason now, Scrambling Dads here for another week. Granted, we recorded all of like 3 days ago for the last episode, just because of schedules and illnesses and all the above. So we did general catch up last time, but let's get started with the obvious, Jason. It's been 22 episodes, and I think on episode like 2 we talked about what's on our heads.
I think so. And it just started out as a random, I think I said it, see ball, hit ball. And then we just, all right, let's go. Let's try it.
Yeah. Love them. Love the design. They're cool. They're
I need
great.
to trademark it.
You probably do. You probably do. But these are awesome. I gotta like turn my head all the way. We got our logo one side, apparel brand on the other. So looking good. Just in time for my tournament on Sunday.
Yeah.
Do a little
Had to
bit
get them
of
done. Had to
do a
represent.
little bit of exposure. Yeah, absolutely. The other part of this is we met with a clothing brand yesterday. And they are still growing. They're not really in the market for kind of brand ambassadors, but we are getting some stuff from them, logoed, great quality clothes. So pretty excited about that. That'll be 3 weeks out, I think, by the time we get them ordered.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think I was excited. I mean, it was funny. We're meeting in a parking lot looking at its clothes, but
Yeah, I
whatever.
mean, drug deal. We didn't know what it was. Just showed up in a parking lot.
Again, I'm in a red Civic. Okay.
I just like that he pulls out this 2 tubs of clothes and puts them on a legitimate like rack that you wheel around in the middle of a parking lot, and it's like 20-mile-an-hour wind going on. It was a little sketchy, but no, great
Yeah.
guy. And we'll, when we get it, we can run through. But it's a great brand. I've had 2 of their polos for a while now, and they compare with the best of the best clothing brands. So I'm pretty happy with it.
You know what's funny? I swear, I mean, we've talked about this before. These follow us. They know us because
God, yeah.
Shelby literally sent me something about brand ambassadors, but it's for little kids. Since Miles is such a big into golf, they had to make little kids. And then another feed popped up today, something birdie, not bad birdie, something birdie. Would you like to be a brand ambassador? And it's just got hats, tops, balls. And I was just like, seriously? Like,
it is funny. There's a ton of opportunities out there. And I think this is something that we've done intentional. Like we're only partnering. Can't talk today. We're only partnering with brands that we can truly stand behind. Not just going to take anything we get. Like I know maybe I think that's easier said than done because we haven't had a ton of opportunities, but we've had a couple come up. But IGP was very intentional for us to partner with. This clothing brand we're hoping turns into some level of a partnership once they see what value we bring to them. I have one other, and I was actually going to do bad news, good news, and I was going to do bad news first.
Okay.
But we're on the concept. We're on the topic of partnerships. So we might as well just do good news.
Okay, wait. Does the bad news outweigh the good news? Or is it just like a little setback bad news?
Minor inconvenience bad news on my personal life. Has nothing to do with the podcast.
Oh, okay.
So we'll stick with podcast and then we'll talk about the bad news. We reached out to a brand that I absolutely love, and I got in with them outside of the golf world. And they got into the golf world, or golf space. I don't know. I want to say like a year or 2 ago. And I've always loved their stuff. I had just never really pulled the trigger. No pun intended. Once you find out the brand, I had never really pulled the trigger on getting what they provide. But we reached out to them, and they sent over a unit for me and Jason to try out. And hopefully it blossoms into more of a partnership where we can help market for them. Do you know what it is, Jason?
I think you told me that it was a go, and then if I recall, it was like a rangefinder or something, or decaled rangefinder.
Rangefinder. So this is the Vortex, came in today. Um, this is their top of the line Vortex Anarchy. Has slope, all of your flag isolation and all that fun stuff. Magnet on it. Uh, it's a great product. It runs off battery versus
A
USB,
US.
which is honestly, I like that better. Everyone's been going to the USB, including the blue tees that I have in my bag right now. And yes, from a convenience factor, it's great because you can just plug it in via USB-C, which I'm currently doing a what's in the bag tech setup right now on YouTube. And you're going to see I have hundreds of those cables because that's what everything runs off of. But
I know I've got so many cables. I'm
God,
like,
so many. But I like the battery so much more because it's like, it's reliable. Like I know when it's out, it's so much easier. And I get you got to go buy a
well,
battery, but so what?
yeah, but honestly, by this, I've had one before, and they last a while,
The
and
batteries
just
last longer than the charge
yeah,
for
and
sure.
then just buy a second one. Like I always I think I've told you, it's like when I know a glove runs out, I go to the
Hmm.
store within a week or so, pick up an extra. So I always have the one I'm using and one, if not two others, just in my bag as reserves. I did the same with the battery. Just put it in the side pouch. So if it
Yeah.
dies, switch it out, and you're
Well,
rolling.
you have your reserve, and it's like anything. You set it to like set a reminder on your phone to switch it. Like when I had a Bushnell that was running off a battery, I just set a annual reminder on my phone to change the battery once a year. And it is what it is. And cool, you move on. It's not that expensive. So, anyways, really excited about this piece.
Yes, that's
I
gonna be awesome,
mean,
and just in time for the tournament.
just in time for the tournament. The design is great. It lets you know if slope's on right away because these flash green. So you can tell if slope's on, which is big for tournament perspective. Not that, I mean, I guess it's more anti-cheating than anything because anyone can see if I'm using slope or not versus just a toggle that shows
Hmm.
red. Um, but man, I'm super excited to use this. I love Vortex glass in general. So this is what I was saying. I got into Vortex with shooting. My rifle scopes are all Vortex. Everything. I think their glass is some of the most premier, and everyone's going to argue. And you have Leopold and all these other brands, but to me, Vortex is the top of the line. I actually had a buddy text me a picture today because deer season is picking up pretty soon here, and he went and bought a new rifle and had a Vortex scope on it. And that was the first thing I said. I texted back and I said, "Dude, great selection on the scope." Um, and it's just a classy product. And the people were amazing. We reached out to them to test this out, and they immediately responded saying, "Absolutely, let's send you a unit. Let's get it in your hands. Let's see if you like it, and then we'll talk." So
Cool.
I'm
I would
super
say
excited to have this.
it doesn't have our brand on it, right? Or sticker.
No, no, you
Okay.
only one company does that. It's not Blue Tees, Precision Pro. They make that little clip, the U that goes on it, and you can brand the clip.
Oh,
So
okay.
no, this isn't branded. It's Vortex. But it's going straight in the bag. I'm super excited, and the range on it's like 400, and I want to say I have the card here actually. Um, the range on it is 450 yards for flag range, 1,400 yards otherwise. So I mean,
Hmm.
it is, and its accuracy is 1 yard within 100. So it's a 1% accuracy or 99% accuracy, I guess, however you want to look at it. 1% margin of error on accuracy. So I've loved these. I've um, obviously, like I said, Vortex got into the golf space pretty recently. but they've obviously been in the shooting and hunting space for a while. And like I
Mhm.
used to bow hunt as well, so I always had a rangefinder on me because when you're rifle hunting in Texas, we have deer feeders. You're sitting in a stand, and most of the time, you know what your shot distance is. We're not
It's
doing,
cheating.
it is. You're not doing mountainside Colorado, Utah, where we're trying to gauge. Oh, it's a 400-yard shot, 200-yard shot. Like, okay, it's somewhere between 80 and 150. We know what we're shooting. We can set our scopes. When you're bow hunting, you don't necessarily know that, right? So I've always had a rangefinder in my hunting bag for that reason of being able to, okay, this is 30 yards, it's 15 yards, whatever it is. So, you're accurate on your pins. So, really excited about this product.
Cool. I will say though, from experience, I think a battery operated device is probably better for you since you can never keep a speaker charged whenever we go play. Like
I mean,
every
that is,
every time.
I'd be offended if you were wrong, but you're not wrong. I am the worst. Like the fact that I'm even able to keep any of our tech charged at any given time is actually that's got to show progress, right? There's a little bit of growth there.
Yeah, we're
The
getting
problem,
there slowly.
the problem is my speaker lives in my golf bag or somewhere else, whereas like my tech bag is right behind me, right here, and it gets plugged in down here. And it's just every night I plug it in. I'm up here most nights of the week doing something, and it's easy. But you're not wrong. I am absolutely terrible when it comes to remembering to charge anything that's not podcast related. So that's the good news. We've been talking to them for a few weeks now, and it finally came in today. I was actually emailing with the marketing rep this morning. I was like, "Hey, just wanted to check. I know you said you mailed it, but I never got a tracking number. So she emailed back and was like, "Yeah, definitely sent. Let me get tracking info." And I didn't never heard back from her this morning. And I
Yeah,
show up
and it
show up
shows
at
up.
home, and the package is on my desk. And I was like, "Awesome, this is great."
Yeah.
I got new hats today. I got my rangefinder today. It definitely made everything better. Sorry, I'm trying to send you. Oh
Oh,
gosh,
okay. Here we go.
trying to send you what was bad today. So this happened after that, so it made it a little bit better of a day.
Uh-oh.
So there you go. Um,
Oh
my
gosh.
afternoon, my afternoon, I
Oh
left
gosh,
work
that
at
does suck.
4:30 to get home and take trip to lacrosse practice. And lacrosse actually got canceled, but I was like, hey, let's still go to the field. They have nets, they have rebounders. Um, so I am a quarter mile from the house, and I don't know what I drove over, but it absolutely gashed my tire. Like
Why?
alarm
And that is
immediately went
insane.
on. So I drive a 2500. So tires typically sit at like 65 to 75 psi, depending on if I'm on a road
Mhm.
trip or just daily. So I typically carry them around 65 daily just because it's a little more comfortable of a drive. In a quarter mile, my psi went from 65 psi to 10 when I pulled into the driveway, and I got out of my truck, and you can just hear it hissing, like straight up hissing. So what I sent Jason, and maybe I don't know if I can figure out how to like pull it up on the podcast, but
I
what
mean, I
I
could just
sent
do that.
Jason, oh yeah, there you go. On that rim is on the ground. Um, yeah. And the jack that they send, or the jack that they put in the truck,
They're never
is
big
not
enough.
functional. Well, it's big enough, but the problem is
They
the little
suck.
knob, the little knob that you're spinning, right, with your knuckle is a half inch off the ground. And then you have to put,
They
well,
get bloody
then you
knuckles.
have to put the wrench in it to like jack it more, but it's like you get half a turn each time. It's like put it in, half turn, put it in, half turn. You're scraping your knuckles against the ground. So I was messing with that for like 10 minutes, and I was like, no, no. So my neighbor across the street does some car work, and he had a 3-ton jack in his, like, one of the ones in a shop that slide in on wheels,
Mm.
pump it up. So I was able to get the truck up pretty fast. Got my spare tire on. Got an appointment at Discount Tire tomorrow at lunch to get a new tire. There's no salvaging the one that blew. Like, when I say gash, like, there is a 6-inch gash in that tire.
That is crazy whatever you
And
hit. I
I don't know
mean,
what I heard something when I was driving, and it's like I didn't see anything on the road. Obviously, I'm driving. Like, I would have obviously tried to swerve if I could. I'm just driving, and next thing I know, I heard something. I kind of looked in my side mirror, and I was like, "What the hell was that? Like, that didn't sound good." But I
is
didn't
it the
see
rear tire?
anything. Back left, yeah. I didn't see anything. Okay, cool. And like I said, my alarm within like 3 seconds of me hitting that thing, my tire alarm went off. Um, and I switched over my toggle on my display screen to show my tire pressure, and it was like I said, 65. When I turned it on, it was down at 30, and within 30 seconds, it was down at 20. And I'm pulling into the neighborhood, and it's down at 10. I was like, oh god, I got to get home.
You're
Um,
losing air. Gosh, that reminds me of ages ago, eons ago, when I was first year of college, first final ever in the fall. Drove, and I had just a basic pickup, like a Tacoma, Toyota Tacoma, and I put 33 tires on just because, oh, I'm just gonna put it on, no lift, just throw it on there, going down the highway, and then all of a sudden, it's just like I hear hissing. I was like, "Is there a freaking snake in my car?" Like, because it just kept change. It could hear it, but it kept changing because obviously with the revolutions of the tire, and I'm just like, "What is going on?" And um, then I tried to accelerate, and I wasn't accelerating, and I was like, "Okay, something's weird." It just kept hissing, and I'm in the cab of my truck. We're on the highway. Finally, get off the freeway, pull around, and similar thing. I had a bolt, just
mm,
like I don't know, 6-inch, like half-inch bolt, punctured it, and it popped just enough, and it just hissed. The rim was on the ground. Like
jeez.
the jack, the jack was so bad. Like it, I think it was also because the road wasn't perfect, but I had it maxed, and I could still barely get that tire off because it was so tall compared to the original.
Yeah, those jacks are terrible. And when I got the truck jacked up enough to get the wrench around on the bottom lug nuts, I would have had to lift that my jack up another like 8 inches. That would have taken me
Mm-hmm.
an hour and bloody knuckles. So I don't. They need to fix that for one. But similar to you, I was just glad I was able to get in a spot that I could do it easily. Being that I had just got home, not on a highway, not on anything else. I'm glad it was my truck and
Right.
not, Casey's Tesla with those rubber band tires. That tire would have blown immediately. I have all terrain thick tread tires, so I'm at least
Rubber
glad
band
that
tires.
God, I hate those rubber band tires. The worst thing about this, and this is what makes it like honestly the most frustrating, like I have put new tires on my truck this year. About a month ago, we put new tires on Casey's car. And now, so this is the ninth tire I've bought this year.
And they're not cheap, man. They are not cheap,
No, no, they're
especially
not.
yours.
They're not
I don't know
cheap.
about the rubber band tires. I don't know about how
No,
Tesla
those are
tires.
expensive too. No, Tesla tire. Well, more companies are starting to make tires that are compatible with electric cars because it's not just Tesla anymore. But back in the day, Tesla was the only one. They were partnered with I can't remember what brand it was, but there's a foam insulation that goes in the tire for noise reduction because the cars are so quiet. If you put a standard tire on it, you get a ton of road noise because you
Hmm.
don't have the engine noise to drum out the road noise. So now there are
Interesting.
definitely more companies. So like Casey went and got new ones, and I think she paid half of what we paid 2 years ago when we put tires on that car.
Hmm.
So
Good to know.
yeah,
I
it's
don't know if I'll ever
whatever.
go electric. It's a great fantasy, but I just don't know if I'd ever pull the trigger.
I've done it and I didn't love it, and I went into a truck. So Casey and
That's
I,
right.
she
You
is driving the Tesla that I used to drive. Um,
and
and
then you
I just,
swatched out hers for your truck.
yeah, we sold hers, and we got the truck. I had always driven truck prior to. I've always loved trucks. we did the foray into the electric world. It just wasn't functional. Like we just do too much to not
Hmm.
have a bed and a truck. And you know what? Just 2 days ago or 3 days ago, we were going to the dump. So just having the truck bed's nice. But
I know. I would toy with that. It's like, ah, do I want a truck again? Just because they're just fun to drive and have. And if I want electric, I would consider the Ford Lightning because it's a truck, but it is electric. So I'm
dude,
like,
the
well,
the
maybe.
GMC Sierra EV came out recently, and that thing is
Isn't it like a,
slick.
but isn't it like a
It's
hundred grand?
it's expensive. Yeah,
I'm
it
like,
is
that's
very expensive.
stupid.
It is so nice. The Silverado has an EV version too. I don't know how expensive they're. I'm assuming that's more comparable with the Ford Lightning because the Ford Lightning's not terrible. Isn't it like 60
No,
for an
the
electric car? I say
baseline.
not terrible. I don't want that to be like someone's gonna clip me saying it's not terrible. It's only 60 and be like, God, this guy's a douche. Um,
You
for
set
for
yourself
an
up.
yeah, I did. For an electric vehicle, 60 is not bad because those things are expensive. I know there's some entry level like the Model 3 and stuff like that. That's 40 to 50, but yeah, to get a SUV truck, like it's expensive. So
Yeah, no,
60 isn't half
it's
bad.
and the range. I'm just like, and then you toy with the range. It's like road trips, and you're thinking like, what am I gonna really
Yeah.
do? It's like it's very convenient for in town. Uh, I think the new ones are the better ones, like the plug-in hybrids, where
Yeah.
again, there's some engineers that hate the idea. It's like, why have two motors? Because you have a separate electric that's a very short range, and then you have a regular
Hmm.
standard gas. It's not like a mixed hybrid. So I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
I, I don't know about them. All I know is like it was a pain when I was driving the Tesla. I was having to charge every other day because I was driving to Dallas. And yeah, you save some money, but at the end of the day, I just like the truck, and I went diesel because I put a ton of miles on my cars. I've had that truck for 2 years, and I've already put 41,000 miles on it.
jeez, that's a ton. Although I will
Yeah.
say there's one electric car that I don't know, it'd be fun to have, just to have is the new Volkswagen van. It's kind of the classic look, but I know you've
Yep.
seen them, but they just
Yeah.
look fun.
They
It's
do.
just
They do.
it's like just
I
get one of those and we're good.
honestly, I don't mind the Rivian either. Casey and I were talking about
Oh, Rivians are nice.
yeah, she
Yeah.
wants we're gonna upgrade hers or get her a new car because that's a 2018 Tesla. Um, so and it's paid off now, which is the nice thing. So we're just holding on to it. At some point we're gonna get her a new one, and if she were to go get one today, I think she'd get the Rivian. She likes the look of
Yeah.
them. She wants seven
They
seats.
are clean.
Yeah, she wants that third row. Just we have three kids, so if we can't really like go to a sporting event, when we were kids, oh, can I go to their house after? We don't have a spot to put them. Granted, we say we're going to get a third row car, and guess what car we're going to drive when we go to any of the stuff? The truck, because
Your
I
truck.
don't like I don't like driving anything else. I like my space. I'm the one that drives. But whatever. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
Rivians are nice.
yeah. They're cool little cars.
But I think you have to put in an
So
order.
that was my debacle dilemma this afternoon. I was a little bummed because Trip was going to have that practice this afternoon, and I was fully intending on testing out the lenses that I grabbed from you and messing around and
Oh,
trying to,
right.
and didn't get to do that. So it is what
Hmm.
it is. So a little
There'll
bummed,
be
but
plenty opportunities for that, that's for sure.
yeah, we're hitting the off season now, but yeah, it's still there'll be plenty of opportunities. So that was my afternoon. Got tournament in 5 days, 4 days, 3 days. I can't do
Yes.
math. Man, my mind is all over the place today. What is that? 4 days? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Yeah, 4 days.
Yeah.
Um,
And
I still don't know my tea time. I know we talked about that the other day. Has not
I
been
think you
released.
said Friday would be the earliest or late Thursday. No, it
Yeah,
has to be
late.
Friday.
Yeah, I think it'll be midday Friday. They said like 48 hours. So I should know midday Friday. I've I so my son yesterday couldn't go. He got strep throat, so he didn't go to school. yesterday, and I stayed home to watch him. So during lunch break, I had to take him to the doctor, got him antibiotics, all that fun stuff. Doctor's office is in Frisco. So I then popped over to IGP, gave him his tablet, and said, "Hey, sit in the corner here." And I practiced for like 30 minutes. So I was like, I'm home. I might as well. So I snuck in a little 30-minute practice during lunch. Um, so that was good. I got to get one more practice in. Don't know if it'll be Friday or Saturday, but I'm really going into this tournament with the mindset of probably not swinging driver that much. Jason and I played and did some content on Sunday, so he can vouch for the fact that my driver was a little wonky.
Yeah. Dude, you put me in some bad spots off the tee.
Hey now, I did. It was so. I think I'm gonna probably use driver pretty minimal. Which on this course, I think when we played it 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whenever that was, I only hit driver twice. I was using mini
Honestly,
driver a lot, so
with your
you
length,
know,
you have enough to cover the driver. I wouldn't even take it out of the bag until we can get it figured out. Like, I really
yeah,
wouldn't take it out. Like, that'd be my
yeah,
caddy advice.
yeah, and that's kind of the game plan I have. I think the only hole that I'm potentially going to pull it on is 13 because it's almost like a double fairway because you have 11 coming back, and I have so much room to miss to the right, which is my miss. So if I aim down, kind of like I did when we played, I aimed
Mm-hmm.
down the cart path, and I think I ended up hitting the cart path and got a 350-yard drive out of it. I think I do the same thing where I just aim down that cart path. I got plenty of room to miss on the right, but that would be the only hole that I could see myself hitting it on. Maybe one, just because it's a dog leg left. So if I aim to cut the corner, I have plenty of room to miss on the right as well. But it's also one of those things where one, we'll be playing downwind now that we're in winter. It's a north wind, um, but it's not a two. It typically is not a two-shot hole, um, even from the blues. Because I think when we played, I was like 300 yards out, and I hit my mini driver. So if I hit
But
my driver, cool, I
you
might.
went, but if you cut the corner, it shaves off 50 to 75 yards easy. So I remember you were
If
straight dead into the trap.
Yeah, if you cut the corner and catch the speed slot, you can get within about 250, which would be fine. But I also like this is where I was saying I was kind of texting with you earlier. Mentally, I am playing hole one as a 5-shot hole.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a birdie hole. I want to play within myself. It will mess with my head more if I get a bogey on that hole than if I get a par. So I'm truly trying to play it as a 3-shot hole to get to the green and then get the 2 putt. If I happen to 1 putt it, awesome. We'll see what happens. But so I'm thinking first hole it'll be mini driver, um, and then I'll use a 7-6 iron, get as close as I can to the green, giving myself a relatively full wedge in. What I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to do is leave myself with a partial wedge with zero spin going into the green. The other thing to consider is it's supposed to rain Saturday afternoon and night.
I think that actually I
Unless,
think has changed.
oh, did it?
There's Yeah, because we were doing some pictures and photos with some families, and the rain has been pushed off till completely next week.
Well, that changes things.
Yeah, there's no rain until Wednesday now.
Oh, that changes things. So if that's the case, I was saying I wanted a full wedge in because those greens are pretty unpredictable. So I want to be able to hit something high that will stop, especially on soft greens. It's always tough to hit little half chips on those dried out greens because I don't know if they're going to check or not check or if they're fuzzy. But whatever. So
I have a feeling they'll probably prep it because knowing they have this tournament, I assume they would want to prep it and kind of roll at least roll the greens, maybe have them cut.
well, and this is considered one of this tour's elevated events. So it's definitely one of the more nicer and they have 60 players and all that fun stuff. But I'm gonna play within myself. So it's first hole. I'm going for the par. Um, I'm not gonna be stupid. Second hole, third hole, fourth hole. I'm not driving. I'm not gonna try to drive the green on the fourth hole. I'm just gonna play it out like I did when you and I
Mm-hmm.
played. Play it towards that tree, up the right side of the fairway, and just take the hazard out of play. Um, my goal is if I can make the turn within 2 to 3 over par, like I'll be happy because
Mm-hmm.
I typically play better on the back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but it kind of just works that way. So, and 11 isn't a 2-shot hole this time of year because it's into the north wind.
Yeah, no.
So that one is another one that when I played with you, I took a bigger club and I was trying to get it as close to the water as possible so that the next shot was shorter. I'm gonna play a 3-shot hole, so I might even just go 7 wood there, go 7 wood 6 iron, and then I have a 100-yard shot in.
Well, yeah,
And
and that one, that green is so hard to try to stay on, especially if you're hitting it from that far out. So I would definitely, yeah, do the
yeah,
three.
it's a really shallow green because it's wider than it is long. So yeah, you're shot in. You have to carry all of the water, and the green starts right after the water, and then you have all of 10 paces to stop a ball
Something
from
like that. Yeah.
250. I mean, it's not going to happen. So when it's downwind, you can play it out to the left and kind of roll it on dry grass, and it works. But so that is that's my core strategy. I'm going to play within myself. I'm not thinking about the fact that I am going through a swing change. I'm not thinking about the fact that I'm playing against guys that are 4 or 5 strokes better than me. I am strictly just going to play within myself, and I'm telling myself if I can walk out of that tournament with a sub 80 round, I'll be happy because this is my first competitive round in 2.5 years.
Hmm. I think that's a good plan. I mean, there's no point in stressing over it, especially since you are going through some mechanical stuff. Keep it easy,
Yeah.
strategize it. You know the course well enough to find your points to attack.
Yeah, that's honestly the best thing I have going for me. I know the course in and out. I worked there as a kid. It's been my home course for the past 5 years. Um, I say that I was a member of Stonebridge, I guess, for a little bit of that, so I can't totally say that. But at least the past 3 years since I left Stonebridge, that's been my home course. So I know where I could take some risks. I know where it's stupid to take risks, and it's where I've shot my lowest rounds. I mean, I shot a 70 earlier
Hmm.
this year out there, followed by a 71, a 72, a 73. So I shot a 75 with you
Hmm.
2 weeks ago. So I mean, it's a course that I'm very comfortable with. So it kind of takes the pressure off.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Yeah, exactly. So looking forward to that. I'm gonna try to get, like I said, a practice round in or practice in Friday or Saturday. The only thing that I'm a little worried about is I have not hit a ball off grass in 3 weeks.
Neither have I actually. Well, except
Yeah.
when I played with you guys.
Yeah. That's the last time I've hit a ball off grass. So I need to go get some practice. I might actually try to go to Westridge and get a range session in, hit off the grass, make sure everything's good. But I mean, I'm hitting the ball fine in the simulator base, so I'm hoping that it'll translate for the
Yeah,
most part.
yeah.
We'll
I
find
want to
out.
get to Ocala at some point here soon, just because I want to hit off grass. Like it's
Yeah.
been so long. Even at El Dorado, we're on mats the whole time. It's just.
Yeah. Well, and it goes back, 2 things, because I remembered what Ben was talking about when he talked about developmental rounds. But it's like Ben said in the podcast with IGP, indoor golf is not meant to replace golf. It is meant to augment your training. So we still need to hit off grass if we want to play. Obviously, there's people that only play indoors, and that's great. Um, what Ben was talking about when we were talking about treating this as a developmental round. One, we couldn't think of the term developmental round on Sunday when we were talking. That was the first one. Then periodization table is the other
That's
one.
right.
And essentially, it's just timing out when you play well, so that like
Hmm.
the pros, they obviously want to time out when they're playing well for majors. especially the Masters. So they all start ramping up, and some might play the week before, some might not. That all depends on what they want to do, what makes them feel better as a person. So
Yeah,
that was a
makes
term we
sense.
could not think of the other day on Sunday. We were struggling. I was listening to the
Yeah.
podcast today, and I was like, why couldn't we think of that? It's like it, we talked about it in the lesson. And I guess I was editing the lesson last night, and it made me remember that.
Yeah, there you go. That's all it is. And if you follow golf like we follow golf, you notice, and then you broadcasters, you see the big guys have a pattern, and you notice that. And it's pretty
Oh yeah,
obvious when they say who's in the event stuff. So if you follow golf, you know they're ramping it up. You know they're going things, and
yeah,
the broadcasters analyze it. Yeah, they're trying something new. I know Rory tried something new just a year ago, brought it into this year, and paid off. Justin Thomas is working on some. They're always working on something just to try to enhance their game just a little bit more.
yeah. They're always working on something. And some players might opt to not play in a tournament because they're going to just go do a practice round at where the major is going to be. 3 years ago when the PGA Championship was at Oklahoma City at Southern Hills,
Hmm.
the the Byron Nelson field was better than it's ever been because we're all of
Hmm.
3 hours away. So all of them came and played here and then drove the 3 hours. It's the same type of grass, it's same type of climate that time of year. So it's funny how the majors is what the players care about, and this whole periodization is how they time up their best abilities because golf is hard, and we all have those moments that it clicks, and we all have those moments that it is just absolutely terrible. So you're just trying to make it click at the right times.
Yeah, and depending on where the area, like you said, like obviously Europe, they swap out clubs. They try different clubs for the
Yeah.
different conditions. Even here in the U.S., they'll swap out clubs. Um, So it just depends, yeah, on where you're playing, how the turf plays. Like, there's definitely a difference. We've talked about this in the past that when I go play a visiting family in California, it is a different. I would say some grass is the same, but the conditions are different. It's a much
Oh yeah,
softer layout,
absolutely.
and so my wedges, it's like realistically softer turf. You want a more forgiving bounce. Harder turf, you want a smaller bounce. So
Hmm.
And then so it's like, the greens are going to hold. So you want to bring it up in the air more versus like, yeah. And so you just have to look at all those different factors. And then if there is a lot of high wind, do you go with more longer irons and utility clubs versus fairway woods and drivers? But
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, and that's stuff that I've considered. Obviously, I've made enough bag changes this year. I'm not touching anything right now. But like my
same here.
wedges, yeah, my wedges. Ben wants me to go to a higher bounce in my wedges. And he's changing my swing to get me a little bit better on my attack angle. Um, and if the wind were more, I think last I looked, again, you said the weather kind of changed, but the wind was supposed to be somewhere in the 15 to 20 range. So I considered putting my 2 iron back in the bag for the tournament this weekend just because I can flight that lower than the 7 wood.
Hmm.
If it's going to be 15 or less, I won't do that. I'll just keep the 7 wood because I like it better. But yeah, it's funny how weather conditions change, regionality changes what we do, types of grass, types of greens. So it's these players have a lot to deal with on top of just making everything work for them week in and week out. So
Yeah. The only thing
we'll see.
I would probably consider is either adding or totally replacing my gap wedge because my current one's at 8 degrees bounce, which is good for the hard stuff that we play here, but uh, a 10 would probably be more universal, then I wouldn't have to change it so much and it can work kind of for both.
Well,
And
I
so I'm
think
like,
that's where you can probably play with grinds too. Like I bet you could
yeah.
get fitted and find a grind that works in multiple scenarios versus
Hmm.
getting 2 wedges, right? Because that's look, we're not. If we were sponsored by Vokey, yeah, I'll have 100 different wedges that all match a
Yeah.
different use case, but we're not. We're amateurs. And our
We want a
demographic,
whole array of bogeys,
yeah,
but
we want a whole array of Vokies. I would also love 3 different sets of clubs, but that's just not going to happen. And the demographic that listens to our podcast doesn't have, 3 extra bags of clubs at home. And it's like, oh, I'm
dude, but
playing
I
this
actually have
course
a
today. Let
question
me
for
change
you
it
that I
out.
wrote right here. I'm going to
Oh,
ask you
God, this
later.
is scary.
And I wrote it out just like thinking this would be fun. And you mentioned that, and it's so weird how it just queued up.
Later or right now?
Well, we're talking clubs, so obviously we can have array and guys, if anybody's listening, we aren't opposed to being brand ambassadors for gear. Just let us know. Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
so I know we're gearheads. We always bounce around with always having fun ideas. If let's just give it a price. I don't even know because the price tags are a little different, but let's just call it even. If you were to be gifted a set of Miuras or a set of TWs, which one would you get? You would just go straight Miura?
Hey, yeah, I don't. N- I'm not knocking TaylorMade, right? I have a mini driver. I think there are things TaylorMade does great, and I think there are things that they are a big brand name that makes people think that they're great. Irons are not their strong suit. I'm sorry to say that. And look, I don't think we're in danger of ruining a relationship there because TaylorMade doesn't go for guys our size. So,
I mean,
um,
I have TaylorMade irons right now, but you convinced me. I may have to just change out a different set.
yeah, but I mean, you can't. To your point, if a brand came to us and said, "Hey, we want to sponsor Scrambling Dads, and y'all are going to be brand ambassadors for us, and come to a fitting, and blah blah blah," yeah, we're going to look at it. We're going to talk about it. And if it is a fit, then cool, we do it. But if you're asking me where my money is going, my money will always go to Japanese metal. Japanese forged metal is superior to anything that Titleist, TaylorMade, Cobra are making. They all make great clubs that are great, and they are useful for the general public. But if I'm spending my own money, I'm getting Srixon or Mizuno or Miura's.
I've had Mizunos in the past. I wasn't crazy about them. So the Strixons are nice for the price point too. They're at a much
Oh,
cheaper rate
yeah,
than
the price
the
points.
others.
Yeah, the price point's amazing. But you said gifted, so if I'm getting
Hmm.
gifted a set, it's Miura's
I
all
mean,
day.
I figured it'd be a no-brainer. But it's funny. I saw an email. No, another thread came up. It was like a totally random Japanese golf brand, but whew, those clubs looked really good.
There are a lot of slick looking clubs, and it's been a while since we've done some gear talk, so I'm all for this conversation. There's a lot of great clubs, and there's a lot of great direct to consumer options. I was looking around the other day, and we've talked about sub 70 on the
Hmm.
podcast before. Those are great looking clubs, direct to consumer. And you're gonna spend 800-900 for a full set that's customized versus 1600-1700 for any of the big names. Obviously, Takomo is a great brand.
And they're
Uh,
technically Japan forged, right? Japan metal? Or are they just
they're
made in
Finnish. No,
Japan?
they're Finnish. They're
They're
Finland.
finished, but are they manufactured in Japan?
That's a great question. I don't know. Um, I don't know. I've never even hit them before, so I don't know. I don't know
I wish
anyone. I've never
we
seen them
could.
in person. Like I've literally never seen anyone have them. I've heard great things, and I would love to. We have a second swing down in the colony. I bet they have a set there if I had to guess.
That's a good point
Um,
because I would be curious I would just want to try Takomo just because,
y-
like,
a
you never
brand
know.
that I would love to talk to if they were open to it, but they're not going to be because they're a premium putter brand is Bettinardi. I play their wedges
Hmm.
right now, and they came out with their irons, a CB and an MB version last year.
Hmm.
Those things are absolutely phenomenal to look at. And I've hit one. Actually, IGP has a Bettinardi CB in that third bay by where we do where I was doing the lesson. They have
Mm.
a 7-iron CB in that bag, and I've hit that once or twice, and it is a nice club. That is a brand that if they came and said, "Hey, we would love to, sponsor the
W-
Scrambling Dads," I wouldn't even think about it. I'd be like, "Yep, let's
Yeah,
go."
this is one of them. I found just a random Japanese.
Oh yeah, I never ever seen that one.
No, it's just they're lines and it's the artistry behind it. It doesn't look like a
Yeah,
club.
yeah, don't they don't.
Oh,
But
here's this is what I like. Look at that black.
yeah, those are nice.
Yeah, they are
Yeah, I
clean,
mean,
but look at
there's
the price
so
point.
many. Oh gosh, yeah, you're no, no. Yeah, you can give them to me. Um, there's just so many direct to consumer options. I mean, New Level is another one. Vice makes clubs I've never hit,
Hmm.
or even really seen them in person. But I mean, there's so many direct to consumer options out there now. Kirkland has clubs. Um, I mean, it's you don't have to like. I hate to say it, but like TaylorMade, Callaway, and Titleist are probably the last things I'm spending my money on.
At
They
this
if
point, yeah,
the stuff that the pros are getting is the top of the line quality. It meets all the precision standards. Um, those clubs are perfect, right? Like because Scotty plays the TWs. Obviously, Tiger plays
mm,
TWs. Rory has his pro. But that's the other thing most people have to realize is most of the pros don't play a model of the club that you can get as a consumer.
no,
They all have their prototypes. I meant to say that as two words, but I guess it is technically prototypes. They all have their protos that they're playing with, or they're playing someone else's protos. I mean, Colin Morikawa plays his own. That's like the old P730s or something like that. Um, Rory has his. I think Tommy Fleetwood has a proto that he's playing
kind
now.
of. He's kind of
I
been in
think.
between, like, yeah,
And yeah, at the
a
top end of
couple.
the bag, some of them might play like the 770 and a 3-iron or something like that. But most of those guys, most of the well-known guys that are really the reason TaylorMade has exposure on tour because they're the guys that get
Hmm.
TV time, have their
That
own
one's
proto
clean.
set. Dude, I'm telling you right now, Bettinardi, listen to this podcast and call me.
That is a great looking iron.
I will not hesitate to say yes. Send me a set right now. I will. My wife would hate it, but I'll pay for them. I mean, I freaking love those. I I am reluctant to get the Bettinardi wedges out of my bag because I love Bettinardi so much. Like those wedges need to be changed, but they feel amazing. They're forged metal. They're so soft. They
Yeah,
sound great.
these are great irons.
Yeah,
I'm just looking at the CBs. The MBs are obviously nothing I would hit, but the CBs are
see.
nice.
I would do the same combo set.
A blend.
Yeah, I would do a combo set of the two. Um, Probably in black. They're Chicago based. Yeah, that
Yeah.
is.
They have a black
There's
iodized rainbow. Interesting.
yeah, there's no chance
Hmm.
that they want to let two old dads be their sponsors as brand ambassadors. But if there was a way that we could somehow get in with Bettinardi, man, I would never leave. Like I would be like, sign me up. We will sign a 10-year deal. We'll sign a lifetime deal. I love their clubs. They're amazing.
I've only messed with their putters, but never owned one. I'm like when I go to the shop, I'll just hit them. But yeah, they're fantastic.
See, and this is where you lose me on Bettinardi. I had a Bettinardi counterbalanced, and I did like it. I don't love their face. And this goes for almost every brand. I like a milled face. So, like my lab, I have the stainless steel milled insert. Scotty Cameron's are a milled face. Um, I just don't like the face inserts that TaylorMade does, or in Callaway and Odyssey.
Hmm.
I'm very picky when it comes to putter. I want a soft feel. I don't like a loud click. So I'm very auditory when it comes to my wedges and putters. Um, so that was my biggest thing. Like I liked the Bettinardi. It was a very stable putter, very stable head, counterbalanced. It was amazing, but long term, it just wasn't what I wanted. I don't like it. I like the milled face.
Yeah, no, there's something to that. And again, that's all like personal preference.
It is.
I'll,
It
I
is.
know we've talked about it, but those new Odyssey S2S Tri-Hots are starting to get some
Yeah.
traction. I mean, they
Odyssey.
do look good, but that insert and the way they're coming off
Yeah.
right now and moving that shaft forward where there's no, which
Hmm.
is why I didn't like it. The other ones, because the shaft lean in the face, these are
Yeah.
right there, so it sits just like a regular putter, but center shaft.
Yeah. The
And
square to
Scotty now
squares
has them.
are, yeah.
Scotty
Yeah.
made their square to squares with
It's
the shaft
funny.
right up front.
Yeah. So Scotty is always, it has seemed that they're always the least to adopt like these, I'm gonna call it trendy type movements, whether it's square to square or even
Hmm.
counterbalanced. It took Scotty forever to make a counterbalanced putter. I think they just came
They
out with
did.
one this year. Earlier this year was the first
Yeah,
one.
the
Um,
11 or something.
and now they're already moving into square to square because like they're like, oh well, we were
They're
behind on
losing the
this
market.
counterbalance movement, so let's get equal with the square to square and the zero torque movement because that's where everyone seems to be going. And that, I mean, that's smart. Again, most amateur putters are not good putters. No one puts the work in. I mean, even myself, like I have not touched my putter since I played 3 weeks ago, but I have gone and practiced 2 hours a week for the past 3 weeks.
Hmm.
So I'm not putting the effort in. And I'm a competitive amateur. So most amateurs aren't putting time
Yeah.
in, and a toe hang putter doesn't work. Yeah, those, I don't know. I just I don't love the center shafted. That's why I got rid of the Oz that was center shafted.
Hmm.
Um, I like my zero torque. I like my heel shafted Oz. The thing's amazing.
I
I
mean,
don't need to
that's just
practice
it.
my putting
It's the
anymore.
zero. It's the zero torque
Yeah,
without that. That's where it's all coming down to for the extra forgiveness. I mean, that's the bottom line.
yeah, it just makes it
Yeah.
so much easier. So, well, that yeah, it's been a while since we talked some gear. That was enjoyable. We all look at it every day. I mean, like you said, our phones listen to us and it sends us all these other clubs, but I'm I love my Srixons. I have zero intent to change any of those things anytime
Hmm.
soon. I mean, we played at the Bay Simulator IGP Sunday night.
Hmm.
And driver was wonky, but the majority of my other clubs were fine. I was hitting them great. Um, it was
Yeah,
just
and
the driving that I screwed you over on a few times.
just a few. Was that the one hole that we we matched
Mm,
our overall score?
um, yeah. So Jason and
Or was
I,
it the par three that we both had trouble even clearing the water?
okay. I think there was some invisible wind that we just weren't seeing in the system.
Because we both were so bad on that hole.
The funny thing is, like, you hit the first one. We kind of knew the first one was in the water. Like we both like you kind of knew you didn't hit it perfect, and I was like, okay, cool. But the next like two or three shots, like I felt like I hit mine pretty clean, and it ended up short. You hit your next one clean. So, anyways, Jason and I did got two videos coming out, both geared towards Ryder Cup. So we did a little 2-man scramble, and then we did a 2-man alt shot. Um, Obviously, we're not going to give too much away. You're going to have to tune in and listen, and or I say listen, tune in and watch those.
Watch. You got to watch
Um,
these.
Got to watch them.
It might be painful, but you have to watch them.
Hey, the first one's not painful. First one we played pretty good. Obviously, we could have done better, but that's all I'm going to say. Um, Second one was maybe we might have left some to be desired out there. I mean, it could have been better. We I think we played fine for the first like four holes,
Look at the
and
simulation. I would have had
It just, it got a little difficult. We probably should have, in hindsight,
It
we
was
probably
very
should have.
late, guys.
Yeah, this was after kids went to bed. I think we teed off on the first hole at like 9 o'clock, and finished at like 10:30. Um,
Yeah,
but
it was
it
late. We were
was
tired.
well, and that was after I showed up 30 minutes earlier to get 30 minutes of practice in prior to, so I was there
Hmm.
for 2 hours. But we, in hindsight, again, I'm not going to divulge too much because go watch. But in hindsight, we probably should have switched the courses with the formats. Um, we chose the harder course with the harder format, and we probably shouldn't have done that. But
But we were feeling good from the first little game we did.
that's the problem. We eased into it, and we were a little overconfident, I think. So next Friday, I'm gonna hesitate here. Just the good thing is we can cut this if I need to. Next Friday, I am releasing the lesson I did with Ben. Um, and then probably Black Friday will be the scramble. I'll release that one. Friday after that, we'll release the alt shot. And then I also have just some practice sessions. I have one that I did like a 30-minute practice session. It was like right after kids went to bed. I sprinted up there and hit. This was right before I went on that retreat last week. So we got that. We have on the 23rd, we have me playing a country club professional. So that'll get released sometime early December. I have three. Technically, I'm supposed to do a club pro match next week, but I think I'm going to end up having to push that one because work has just been hell this past week. So I just don't think I can make it work in the afternoon. And weekends are always tough with country clubs. Um, but there's outside of the one that you have scheduled for me on the 23rd, I have three others that are soft commitments, which is up because last week we were two others.
0.
Well, zero, but no, last week we were, so we have El Dorado, Stonebridge, and Fields Ranch,
Hmm.
all soft. Oh, and Gentle Creek. So, El Dorado is the one that's booked. The other three are soft commitments where the pros have said, absolutely, we want to do it, but we just got to figure out when. Like one of them, he's graduating from his master's program mid-December. So that one will probably be, I'm off the whole week after Christmas. I'm taking PTO just to spend time with family. So I'll probably try to schedule it while I'm off just because it's easy and I can slide up there on the day that they're closed. So got a lot of good. I mean, so that's 4 videos that are already in the queue that I'm currently in some level of pre-production to post-production. And then 4 Club Pro videos. So that's 8 videos that we have in the works. Not to mention continual content with Jason and I at IGP, some IGP specific stuff with coaching. So the podcast is kind of in cruise control now. And we're picking up some steam
Yeah.
on the YouTube side.
And I hopefully 26 will get some stuff of more of the me, the more relatable side of things with the busy dad schedule, the amateur, the weekend warrior. Because I know that session IGP got me kind of amped up again because I afterwards I could just tell I was feeling kind of in like a weird golf rut, just motivation, just because I think I feel just the burden of work, our side hustle, the family, and just still battling like illness. I just had no drive and messing around this weekend definitely put that spark back into me. And it's like, and I know we have uh, you on the bag as another one that we're looking at, and then just my goal to break 80.
Yeah. Yeah. definitely need to get more of you and get your journey. I know we haven't even talked about it yet, but y'all are busy with your wedding photography side, and then obviously having little kiddo that spent his whole day learning what Jason has to teach to high school kids.
Oh gosh. Yeah, that was fun. We had a mandatory meeting about just for some procedural stuff. I get a phone call from the daycare, and I'm just like, gosh, here we go. Like, you can't get a substitute once you're already in school. It
Yeah,
doesn't work. And I was like, all right, let's see what's going on. Is he actually really sick? I don't know. I show up and I don't know. They must have changed their policy because, when a kid has a really loose stool, unless, I don't know, I don't care. We're dads, diarrhea. So he just had he had one bout of diarrhea, but they're like,
yeah,
he has to go home. Then he had it before the other daycare, the other facility. It's like, well, he had one, so we waited it out. He had two. When he got a couple in a row, it was like, okay, he has something. He's got to go home.
yeah.
Well, he was kind of off, but he's also a bit tired because I think he's going through a growth spurt. Um, so he hung out with me. He was trying to like the kids wanted to see him and talk to him, and he was just like had nothing to do with it. So he's all clingy to me. It's like makes it hard for me to try to even conduct anything or any conversations with anybody. There was one point where he took a nap, and I'm like, guys, you got to be absolutely silent. So no talking. We got to
Just
do this
read your
stuff.
book.
He's like sleeping on my classroom floor. I think I sent you. Did I send you a
Yeah,
picture?
you sent me that picture.
He just passed out on my floor with his little sleep sack, and I was just like, oh, gosh, be quiet. And then all of a sudden, I hear this PA super loud. 1 minute to the tardy bell. 1 minute. It's so loud. I was like, oh gosh, don't wake
That's
up.
gonna wake him up. Yep.
He slept through it. He got about an hour, I think. And the kids were quiet when he woke up at class. And he woke up happy. But I'm just sitting here going like, this is super inconvenient. And he was playing with his cars and stuff, but it's just like it's hard to have conversations and even to help the kids. And luckily today was, I would say, the perfect day to have it happen for me. But um then we got home, he started eating more, and then he had a normal stool.
Yeah,
His next one was
man,
normal. I'm
I
like,
th- it's been a gripe of mine ever since 2020, but like COVID really made sick kids harder to take care of from a working parent perspective. Of the minute they have a cough that is more than just a dry cough, it, the minute they have, like you said, one diarrhea or anything like that, even like a fever, like we all occasionally, you get bad allergies, you can spike a quick fever and it's over within a day, but it's like, oh no, it's 24 hours that they're gone. So if you get a call at
mhm.
noon and you got to pick them up, they can't go to school the next day.
Yeah, it was same. Tomorrow,
Where
so
it's
Shelby's
like,
taking the day off.
yeah, where it's like, oh, well, but what if we wake up in the morning and he's perfectly fine? Like, why can't we bring him in? No fever, no nothing, then he's fine. COVID kind of ruined that. I mean, rightfully so. It was an epidemic that a lot of people died from, so
Yeah,
I don't want to be insensitive to that. But it has made being a working parent really hard, especially with like Grayson. He had strep a lot. So two of our kids have had tonsils out at young ages. I think Grayson was 4 and Bella was 2, which is almost
yeah, that
unheard of
was,
these days.
yeah,
So strep was constant, and like Grayson has strep now. He doesn't have tonsils, and he had strep last month and he has it again this month, which means he never really got rid of it. It just went kind of dormant. And then
wow,
he has really bad asthma. So like they did the pacer test last week and that spiked some coughing issues, and all the teachers were concerned about that. He had to stay home from school one day, and then obviously he's missed 2 days this week because of the strep, which, okay, that one's fair. Like he is contagious. But he was out yesterday. He was out today. He goes back to school tomorrow. But it's like ever since COVID, being a working parent became really tough with someone that just might have a common cold or a small cough, or maybe Miles just ate something that didn't sit well with him that morning
exactly.
and he had a little diarrhea. It happens to all of us.
Yeah, I mean, we different foods last night. It got through a system. It just happens.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to be a you know butt about it, but I'm almost like, guys, can you? He maybe ate something and just didn't agree with him. Like,
Yeah. I
give
mean,
it a
it It all
give it a
happens.
second go. I mean,
Yeah, let
but
him
he
go
didn't
again
have
and see what happens.
but he didn't have another bowel movement until we got home, until like 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
So it was like he would have been fine the rest of the day. Like he would have been
Yeah.
completely fine.
It, it,
But I
it
know they've got their safeguards and procedures, which
they do.
on one end it's like, okay, it's great. On the other end, it's like, I get it because there are some more sensitive kids who with less strengthened immune systems or whatever. But I was like, there's gotta be like a boundary here. But
It just makes it
I don't know. We'll
harder.
see.
Yeah, it just makes it harder because it's like anytime one of the kids is sick, Casey and I have a conversation. It's like, all right, what do we think it is? Is it something that if we send them to school and they get sent home, it's gonna screw us over for the next couple days, or do one of us just need to stay home today, let it work its course today, send them back tomorrow? So we're constantly playing
Yeah.
the what is it going to be game? How can we do it to minimize the amount of time one of us is home from work? Which
Hmm.
luckily she has a job that if she needed to, she can take them to work and they can just hang out in her office and she can close the door and it's fine. I don't have a job like that, so if I have to work from home, I can work from home, but it's just not ideal. So
Yeah. I mean, our classroom spaces aren't bad. He's getting comfortable. This is the first time he's actually stayed in my classroom. But he is getting older, so if it does happen as he gets older, it should be easier. Just like be quiet, sit in the corner, do your thing. I've done it with Peyton and years ago. Maddie was never got sick. Like she never really got sick sent home. I think she had perfect attendance in elementary school. Um, but Peyton was always out, and I had to bring her to school one time. And our admin's better about it. It's just as long as they're not disrupting anything, we get it.
yeah,
Just give. But man, back when Peyton and them, they were like, "Why are they here?" He's just like, "It's like 11 o'clock. We get out of school. Like this is too short of a distance for even
there's only so much we can
half
do.
day sub. What do you want?" Like,
You
so
would
at
think
least they've better.
But you would think that they wouldn't care, like you said, as long as you're getting your job done, because it costs them money to bring a sub in, whereas you're
Hmm.
salaried. So it's like, if it's for 3 hours, just let him keep the kid in the classroom. Like,
Yeah,
it seems like a
most of
better
them
business
are.
decision.
Most of them are way better about it now, or at least admins just turns a blind eye just to the whole situation because as long as I'm taking care of business, it's not a major disruption.
As a taxpayer of the ISD that employs you, I would appreciate if they just let you keep Miles in the classroom.
Yeah, subs are much more difficult and they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Um, well, yeah, I know it's always tough. So sick, you've had sick kid, I've had sick kid this week. Just been one of those weeks. Tournament coming up. We got to get you on the golf course more. Thanksgiving's right around the corner. Uh, Years flying by. So
Yeah, you mentioned Black Friday, and I'm like, oh my god.
yeah, it's crazy. It truly has just flown by. And I think you said you were going to try to come out and watch the tournament. You know,
Hmm.
maybe the full round, maybe not the full round. We'll see when the tea time is. Maybe we can grab a little bit of content from that.
That's what I'm hoping. Get some side view stuff. It's just gonna be dependent upon when your tea time is. If I can get a cart versus walking, because it'd be I don't know. Are you walking or do you get a cart?
I get a cart. My plan, if it was cart path only, I was gonna walk,
Okay.
but I don't think it's like you said. The rain has pushed off, so I don't know. I
Okay.
mean, I could still walk in theory. The problem is if you have three people riding and one person walking, it almost feels like a sprint because you're trying to keep up.
Hmm.
But walking would definitely keep me within myself.
Hmm. Yeah, I'll have to
So
see. I mean, I don't mind paying a cart fee just to get a cart to go out and watch if they let me.
I can't imagine they wouldn't. I mean, it's not everything I've seen. It's not shotgun because if I look at their website, it says shotgun on some, it says tea times on others. This one says
Hmm.
tea times. So
Okay.
the course is shut down to the general public for at least the morning. So I'd imagine that they should have a cart available.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, that's the plan. Get out there, get some spectator stuff, maybe get you from the side. I don't even know what the rules are, if I can even be out on the course with you or just have to stay away from you.
Um, yeah, I would assume that there needs to be some level of separation just because caddies aren't allowed, and I'm sure people are worried about something like that. Um, but yeah, I mean, I can't imagine that spectators aren't allowed.
Well, we'll give it a
It
go.
it should be in the bylaws
Your
of the tour.
do's and don'ts.
Yeah, the do's and don'ts. So I'll look it up.
I know, I'm 100% sure spectators can go out and watch. I mean, what tournament does not allow that? It's just probably cart path only type stuff.
I would, yeah, I think I would generally agree with that. But I'll read up, and yeah, they have general information and everything here. So I'll read up and see. It does say we'll play from 65 to 68, so we're gonna play the blues most likely. It's not tipped out.
Yeah.
I was reading that earlier, and meant to say that when I was talking about preparing and all that fun stuff. So, but that's what we got going on. So, a couple good things coming from a YouTube perspective. Um, if you start to hate the way the audio on podcast sounds, Jason's taking that over, so blame him, not me. You can blame me for the YouTube quality on the videos.
I haven't taken over just yet.
No, this is my last one. Granted, the in-person ones I still have to do because that's through the editing software on the Final Cut Pro. That's not on Riverside. So I also have some. So you can blame me for the audio on the in-person. Granted, I like we talked about last time, I have that one solved now. And we'll go from there. So, Jason, anything else?
No, we're good. Excited to see how this next month shapes up for content wise. All of it. Be excited to see when we start getting some of our apparel, start branding ourselves. It's exciting.
Yeah, got a lot in the works, a lot of conversations going on behind the scenes. Just what started off as a hobby is getting a little bit more traction than I think either of us really expected, which is great. So we're just gonna keep seeing where this endeavor takes us. But looking forward to tournament, looking forward to the content. We'll kind of see from there. So with that, if we got nothing else, Jason, we'll talk next week.